Kant versus God. Before we get to Kant's objection to the ontological argument, we must first look at the ontological argument, which we referred to on paper as OA. The ontological argument argues that God exists by definition. This is because existence is a perfection, and God is, by definition, perfect. Thus, he possesses the perfection of existence. Thus, the statement that God exists is a necessary truth. So far, so good for God. Kant has two objections. Do not get them confused. They are somewhat similar, but the first is weaker than the second. You will see why. The ontological argument says that God exists is logically similar to the statement a triangle has three internal angles that add up to 180 degrees. Here's a little diagram to help you. To deny that a triangle has three internal angles that add up to 180 degrees is a logical contradiction. Thus, to deny God is a logical contradiction. See, he can't do it. Yeah. Kant responds that he agrees that you cannot have a triangle and yet not have its internal angles. But you can reject a triangle as well as the angles, which means that you can reject God along with his properties. See, he's rejecting God with properties because relation. It's funny, but you can respond to this with the argument that the statement God exists is a necessary proposition. This will be important later. And a similar objection to Kant is made by Hume, who argues that whatever we conceive as existent, we can also conceive as non-existent. This becomes a lot more relevant later. Kant's second objection, which is stronger, relies again on what the ontological argument says. OA argues that existence is a perfection, but the definition of a perfection is that it is an attribute of something that is predicated of a thing, or, changes or adds to the thing. Not all predicates are perfections, but all perfections are predicates. Kant uses this and argues that there is a misunderstanding and that existence is not a predicate. This is because existence doesn't add to a thing, as is the definition. Existence doesn't add to a thing because, let's use an example. Picture a sharpener around this size. Here's my finger for reference. Now picture it existing. Now picture it not existing. The sharpener itself does not change. Thus, it does not add or detract from the sharpener. Existence doesn't change the thing. God isn't changed by existing, and thus the ontological argument does not work. And thus God is defeated. No. Or is he? Dun dun dun. Oh, that's silly.